Hello there guys, and welcome back to another live stream here in Delta T Racing. Most of you might not know me. I used to be the Division 1 commentator for DTR. I think it was 2 seasons ago, so this is going to be season 5 if I'm not mistaken, and I did comms in season 2 or season 3, but I'm back at it again after a month-long vacation, and it's gonna be a great Grand Prix. You know, Silverstone, one of the best tracks out there, together with Spa-Francorchamps. I'm a little bit biased there, but Brazil also one of the good tracks. But Silverstone is definitely that one track that everyone likes to race on. Everyone likes to have battles on, do qualifying. It's just an all-around good track. And I'm pretty sure the 15 drivers that are taking part tonight are going to be thinking the exact same thing here, as we are currently on board with BA Dubs as he's coming through on Megats and Bagats, going down the straight. And that is going to be one of the 3, if I'm not mistaken, DRS opportunities that the guys are going to be able to use here in Silverstone, as Dubs currently coming through that long right-hander, turn 15 if I'm not mistaken, heading into sector 13, coming back into the pits. Didn't seem like a great lap for the Haas driver, although he was still on an out lap, so unsure why he actually comes into the pits. But I mean, sometimes I wonder a lot of things with the drivers here, as we're currently on board with F.A. Baza, and he seems quite familiar. If I'm not mistaken, I've done some commentary on him before. He's racing in the Williams tonight, as I've got a little bit of a silly sound. Not sure what that's doing at the moment. I think it might be the game, isn't it? I think it might be the game indeed. So Raikkonen racing in that Haas car as well. His teammate is going to be Dubs, who we've seen before. We've got the Kick Sauber, Skipper, and Composite. And then we've got the McLaren brothers as well, Rika and brother Adam. And to remind you, this is going to be a Division 3. I'm not sure why the game sound doesn't align with the actual sound, so I might just lower that down a little bit so you guys are not getting too confused. I am definitely getting a little bit confused here, as it appears like there's 2 different audio sources running, isn't there? No, it doesn't seem like it. So how is everyone doing tonight here in Delta T Racing? Unsure whether there's a lot of different watchers currently in the game. This is very strange. Why do I hear the game twice? This is very strange. I don't know if you guys can hear that as well. It's not my fault this time. I guess it's the game's fault. And I'm just quickly going through the standings as well, as I haven't been really up to date with the standings that are going on these days in the last couple of weeks. So let me just double check here. Forecast for weather strange. Apparently there is a dry quali and rain in the race. So a little bit of rain around Silverstone can do wonders for the drivers who are really well in the wet weather. Me, myself, and I am the worst driver you can possibly think of in a rainy weather situation, as I'm currently looking at the standings real quick. So G5 Gaming, if I'm not mistaken, he should be here as well, and yes indeed he is. He is in the V-Car. Is going to be in P1, and then we've got Connor in P2. So both Racing Bulls currently at the top of the standings. Then we've got Hummer in P3, Tom Putty in P4, and then Raikkonen in P5. Constructor-wise, we're looking at obviously Racing Bulls with a lot of points, 173 to be exact. Then we've got the Racing Bulls in P2 with 76 points. So they've got almost 100 points less than the other guys, which is quite interesting to say the least. McLaren is in P3, Alpine in P4, and then we've got Haas in P5. Although we do see Raikkonen in that top 5, it seems like the other drivers have some better teammates there to score overall points for the Constructors' Championship. Currently on board with Tom Putty, but if I'm not mistaken, he's already done his lap. Maybe you want to go on board with brother Adam here, currently heading into turn 15. Will he be coming into the pits? Doesn't look like it, so let's go on board to see how this sector 3 is going to go for the McLaren driver. I think you might want to go for another one. Has saved a lot of battery here. I'm afraid it won't be enough. 129.1 for brother Adam, so needs to improve a little bit more on that time to be able to qualify in that top 10 position. Currently in P7 with only 2 drivers right behind him. Connor Havoc here currently in P14. Hasn't set a time yet on an outlap as we speak. But he's going to go for a fast one straight after Sector 3. And let's go on board with the VCarb driver here to see how he's going to be able to do throughout his qualifying lap. Only 12 more minutes on the board. You guys might know that it's going to be a short qualifying here tonight. Not a full qualifying. We don't have Q3, Q1, Q2. We just have one simple plain qualifying of 18 minutes, and the drivers need to be able to put their best times on the board within those 18 minutes. A little lockup there into turn 3, but I think it quite helped him, to be honest, because it didn't look like he broke on time, so that little lockup possibly could have helped him. Although the problem is that you're going to be causing some wear on your tires. Now, in a qualifying lap, that doesn't really matter that much, I would say, because you're not going for a long run, just a one lap run on those soft tires. A little bit of a squeaky entry into turn 7 as we're heading into turn 8 as we speak. And then we've got turn 9 being that fast right-hander where we saw Lewis Hamilton and Verstappen crash into each other. And that is going to be a Cop's corner. Then hitting into Megas and Vegas, you guys might be a little bit too familiar with this corner section. If some of you have already crashed into Megas and Vegas, I definitely have, and I'm pretty sure 75% of the listeners right now also have crashed into Megas and Vegas, or out of Megas and Vegas. Seems like Connor has a little bit of traffic up ahead. That is going to be a Williams driver, but he's coming back into the pits. Not sure whether Connor is going to come into the pits. It doesn't appear to be like it. And then into the last 2 right-handers. A good exit for Connor could do wonders. And what time will it be? A 127.6, putting himself in P2. Hummer, the only one beating the V-Carbs so far. But let's see whether anyone else can do the job as well. Rika on an outlap, he hasn't set a time yet so far. But I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to do something spectacular here in Silverstone as well. In the meantime, I'm quickly checking my Discord to see if there is any messages from you guys. If you want to ask any questions, feel free to do so in the chat. And, well, if you don't want to ask any questions, just say hello if you haven't already. That would be really, really nice. So Rika currently in Sector 3. We saw it the same with Connor, and he's also coming into the pits. Oh, right. I remember why that is. A couple of drivers have their chokers to be used. You guys might not be too familiar with jokers if you're outside Delta T racing. So basically what a joker does is you're going to start at the back of the grid where you're not going to do any qualifying laps, which is going to place you at the back of the grid. But it's going to score you double points whenever you're finishing in the top 10. So let's say you're going to be in P5. Instead of getting 10 points, you would be getting 20 points. So that is a great accomplishment for the drivers who are going to be using their jokers. That does mean we're not going to see that much excitement throughout the qualifying, but the race could be something spectacular, especially having rain. We're going to be seeing some different strategies being used. A lot of guys coming into the pits earlier, maybe a little bit later. Maybe they're going to misjudge whether the track is going to be dry or not. So there's a lot of different things to be well, experienced throughout a rainy race, such as a safety car as well, of course, or a red flag. You might never know that. Well, that didn't even make sense. You might not know that red flags are also an opportunity here in Formula 125. If you don't have the game yet, make sure to buy it. It's a really good game. I'm not sponsored at all. Neither is Delta T Racing, but I like it. It's way better than 2024, where I didn't even put a single lap on track because the graphics were so shite. But this seems like a pretty decent game. I haven't been here for a month now, so I'm not sure whether the game has actually gone forward or whether it actually, like Formula 1 EA usually does, make it worse. And like Katsis currently coming across the line with a P6, not bad at all, a 28.3. But that's not going to put him in the top 5 anytime soon. Only 3 thousandths away from Ralph there. So, yeah, there is possibly an opportunity for a top 5 position here for the Ferrari driver. His teammate is not going to be present here tonight. Skipper with a 136.4 has left the session. Apparently, something either has happened or I'm not sure, but he has left the session as well. So we're not going to be seeing him today anymore, I'm afraid. As I was looking at something, I can't quite remember what it was. What was it again? Attendance? Oh yeah, it might be attendance. So Jokers are to be used by Dubs, Composite, and Rika. So Penny Penguin, who is currently still in the pits, hasn't set a time yet, might need to be doing something else. So Skipper joined again. Maybe some internet issues for the Dutch driver. As Lakatsis seems to be going for another one. Has a lot of battery saved there as well. And I think he might indeed be up for another one. His last lap of 128.3 was not enough. He's getting pushed down as well by Bombeer, if I'm not mistaken. And Bombeer is a familiar face as well. I've done some commentary on the Aston Martin driver in the past. Brother Adam currently improving by about 9/10 heading into Sector 3. So that is a good improvement by the McLaren driver that will possibly put him somewhere around the top 6. And he didn't invalidate there. Might have lost a little bit of time. Too deep coming out of turn 15 is never going to do you any good. But it seems like Sector 3 overall was pretty decent. A yellow flag in Sector 2. And it is indeed an improvement. I say only. Still a big improvement there. But Brother Adam improves by about 8/10, putting himself in B7. Ralph doesn't seem to be improving. Pombeer is not going to go for a fast one because he doesn't have any ERS left in the tank. Tom Buddy currently in the pits. Maybe Baza, he's on the medium tires. Very interesting strategy there, as Composite is going to go for a knot lap as well, just to get the feels of the tire of the car. And he's got a car behind him. He needs to watch out. If I'm not mistaken, that's going to be Pombeer. Although I don't think it would be too much of an issue because Pombeer is not on a fast one, if I'm not mistaken. And let me go on board with Brother Adam here. Doesn't have any ERS left. He does actually have ERS left. Might not have enough fuel left in the tank. So that is not going to be great, of course. And Baza's still cruising around on these medium tires. So nothing spectacular happening at the moment. But while we are at it, we could look into the possible overtaking opportunities here around Silverstone. So you've got turn 3, which is a hard braking zone to the right. Possibilities to go down the inside there. You do need to work together with the guy you're trying to overtake, because otherwise you might get cut off a little bit there heading into turn 3. So if you want to go for a move, either go for the outside move and expect a little bit of room from the guy on the inside, or go down the inside and just hope that he doesn't cut you off. Coming out of turn 3, 4, heading into turn 5, if you have a good exit, you might be able to use the DRS down that straight. Heading into turn 6 and 7, it's a little bit difficult. I'd say around the outside in turn 7, then coming out of turn 8, you're going to have an opportunity. You just need to be able to stick your car around the outside. Cops Corner, I wouldn't go for a move there. We saw what happened in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. 2020, yeah, it was 2021. I wouldn't do it if I were you, but if you decide to do it anyway, you know, who am I to say you can? Heading into Mexico is not a good overtaking opportunity either. And then coming down the straight, you've got a pretty good overtaking opportunity. You've got the DRS, you've got the ERS, and it's a long straight. You might want to take your chances there. Heading into turn 15, down the inside is also a good opportunity. And then you've got that hard braking zone heading into turn 16, where you want to go down the inside, but then you're in an awkward position because you've got the curb on the entry. And then on the exit, there is also a very bad curb, which might spin you. So you don't want to go for that either. J5 is currently on an outlap as well, together with Pombeer, who has rapidly come out of the pit lane, which is great for the Aston Martin driver, of course. I'm quickly going to take a drink because my throat has already given up. Oh, by the way, if you're listening and you have some suggestions or whatever, if it's delayed, feel free to send me a Discord message saying what you thought of the commentary of the video in general, and I'm happy to implement whatever ideas you have if I think it's a good idea, or if you have any suggestions about which words to use or how to give commentary, make sure to do so all as well. Please bear in mind, I'm not an English native, so I'm trying my best to not make any mistakes, but every now and then I do tend to make a mistake here and there, so please bear with me there. It's J5. Nice comment, Nell. It's not Nell, Rush. It's somebody new. It's me, Thomas. Hey. J5 Gaming, currently coming down the straight. DR is wide open. Please follow the duty. Duty. Where is duty? Duty. Pooty? Do you mean Pooty? Follow the duty? Where's the duty? I'm very confused, Rush. I have no idea what you're saying. Yeah. I'm always careful with the voice. I used to do about 4, 5, 6 races a week. I decided to, you know, just give commentary in Delta T Racing, and that's about it. Dutch, sorry. Follow the Dutch. Oh, the Dutch. Yeah, I will. Who's the Dutch? It's Skipper. No. Who's the other one? Pombeer? I think it might be Pombeer. He's up on his time, though, but by about a tenth or so. 78 thousandths. Not great. It's going to gain him 0 positions as J5 Gaming comes across the line with a 127.4. Not a bad time at all. I'm pretty sure Hummer might be able to, you know, improve on that time. It's not a big improvement on Hummer's time, so he just needs to find about a tenth and a half, and then he should be able to be good for a pole position. Spumbeer coming around the last corner. What time will it be? A 127.7 improves by about 2/10, just ahead of Ralph, as that is going to be an amazing time for the Dutch driver. Pombeer, Skipper, Composite, Hummer, Ralph. Are they all Dutch? Jesus. Come on, mannen. Jullie kunnen het doen. Jullie kunnen winnen. Yes, come on. Just a little appreciation for the Dutch drivers. Although I feel there is still a little rivalry between the Dutch and the Belgians, you know. There's probably no Belgians here, so fuck it. I'm rooting for the Dutch, as Hummer is indeed improving by about a tenth and a half. So he needs to just keep on the same pace. No, he does not, because Connor Havoc coming across the line with 127.3. That might be pole time for tonight, guys. Hummer just needs to improve by about 2/10 here in Sector 3. It seems like a squeezy turn 7 there. Oh, and he takes pole time anyway. I didn't say a thing by 0.003 of a second. The Red Bull driver has done some practice here around Silverstone, and he takes pole time unless anyone else is able to improve. Maybe Tom Putty, although he's got a little bit of traffic up ahead. That's another Alpine driver. No, it might be a Ferrari driver, as Tom Putty comes across the line with 128.0, improves by 2/10, but not enough. That's going to be your qualifying. Pombeer not up in his time anymore. He comes back into the pits, and that will be your qualifying here in Silverstone. Hummer with pole time, a 127.3. Not a bad time at all. Connor Havoc in P2, and then we've got J5 Gaming in P3. Not a real surprise to see the VCarb drivers up there. Well, the both of them have 173 points in total in the constructors. The second team has about 100 points less, so you already know who is dominating the actual season. But it seems like Red Bull are stepping up their games here in Silverstone. We've got Hummer and Raf both positioned in P1 and P4. So could they possibly cause some kind of sandwich for the VCarb drivers? But we can definitely see that Red Bull engine, or Honda, whatever engine it is these days in the Red Bull car, is doing its job. The top 4 is within 35 thousandths of each other, so a great qualifying from those four. Pombeer in P5, Brother Adam in P6. We've got Lacatis for Scuderia Ferrari in P7, Tom Putty in P8. Then we've got Baza and Ryan Conan in P9 and P10. Further, we've got Skipper Dubs, Rika, Penny Penguin, not sure, probably, and Composite all the way at the bottom of the grid. We've got 3 drivers using their jokers, possibly Penny Penguin as well, but he didn't put it in the attendance if I'm not mistaken. So only 3,000s between P1 and P2 is going to be causing some spectacular racing here tonight. I hope the sound issue has been resolved. Game is... oh, this is some very heavy rain here, guys. It might be wet tire weathers. Wet tire weather? That doesn't even make sense. Wet tires for the guys here in Silverstone. And this is possibly going to cause some troubles on track. It might be a safety car quite early into the race. And then the guys might be able to switch on to another set of wet tires to finish off the race on those wet tires. I'm not sure what the statuses are on the tires these days here in the F125 game. But whenever I was playing the game, back in, might have been June, whenever the game first came out, I played the first 3 days or so. Sound is good. Yeah, I know, but in the beginning there was a problem with whenever I went into, what's it called, broadcast mode, I heard all the cars on track. It was very strange. I didn't hear the car that was passing by, so I hope it's fixed for the race. But what was I saying again? Oh, jeez, I'm so bad at this. What was I trying to say? Oh, my days. It was something about tires. It was something about me playing the game. Right. So I was playing the game, and I remember that the tire wear was quite heavily. So let me just check whether the thing is nice. It sounds pretty weird. I might put it a little bit louder. You never know. Fuck it. Yeah, it sounds weird. Like the camera isn't next to the car or something like that. It doesn't make any sense. I'm just gonna put it a little bit louder because it isn't nice for you to listen to, of course. But let me just double check on the tires here real quick. So tire wise, we're looking at wet tires for everyone. Now I haven't seen many wet races yet where we are actually running the wet tires, so I'm unsure how many laps the guys have to go on these tires for. Might be a one stopper, maybe a two stopper, unsure, but it also depends on the tire wear that these guys are experiencing, and also the heat of the tires. Are they going to be overheated or not? The best way to work around hot tires is well, raise in the wet pools, or whatever you want to call that. Because it cools down your tires, you know, driving in the water basically cools down your tires, which makes a little bit of sense, except for when the water is more than 100 degrees. I don't think it's going to cool down your tires, but actually that could be really cool to investigate. You know, just hire a Formula 1 car and drive with screeching tires through hot pools. That would be very cool. I'm not gonna do it. If anyone feels obliged to do so, feel free to do so and let me know the results. I'm not gonna try that myself. Alright, so we are currently lining up for the start of the Silverstone Grand Prix. Two drivers are a little bit further than the rest of the guys, and I have a fun trick to anyone who wants to try it. Whenever you want to... Yeah, this is exactly what you don't want. Oh, both of the drivers disqualified. Man, what a way to fuck up. So what you want to do, right, is right before your park... right before you're coming around the last corner, you want to go to 6th, 7th, 6th, 7th, or 8th gear, and you want to go full throttle. And then you want to brake until you reach like 5 to 6 kilometers an hour. And you're never going to go faster when you're on 8th or 6th gear. And that way you can really put yourself in the best position here tonight. But that's not what we're looking for. We are looking for the Silverstone Grand Prix here in Delta T Racing. It's lights out and away we go. Raikkonen already with a drive-through penalty. A lot of guys going off track. Two of the Kick Sauber drivers, as it seems to be chaos heading into turn 1. Connor Havoc already letting his teammate go through. There's a couple of guys going off track. That's brother Adam, who's letting Raikkonen through. Penny Pingen, who made a couple of positions up already. As we might want to look at the position switches here. Raf is going to go down the inside of the Williams. He's alongside the Williams though, and a little tap there from Raf. as the Williams is going onto the grass, loses about 3 positions. Another contact between the Williams and the Haas, if I'm not mistaken. And now he really dropped all the way down to P12. So not a great start for Baza as we're going 3 wide, heading into turn 6. As Penny finds himself in between both the Haas drivers. Not a great position to be in. And I'm afraid that a lot of guys are also not using any wet weather setups, because we can see them slide through turn 6, through turn 7. A lot of guys going a little bit deeper than they should, especially coming through, is that Cops Corner? No, it might be turn 8 there. As Penny Penguin currently in a battle with the Haas driver, although it seems like Dubs has a little bit. Oh, there goes Piney. What a move from the Mercedes. He saw that Dubs was struggling a little bit, and he is still struggling with the setup, if I'm not mistaken. He saw a opportunity and he went straight for it. So let's see what Piney is going to do now on the tail of brother Adam. As we might want to go on board with the top 3. Oh, Piney Penguin. What are you doing, buddy? It seems like he's outbraking the car. And possibly outbraking himself. Not sure. There a little bit of contact between himself and brother Adam. As Hummer now with the fastest lap so far, 152.9. That is about 30 seconds slower than a dry weather race. As Penny Penguin once again shoved off track there by the McLaren driver. Is he going to go down the inside now? Yes, once again a little bit of contact. So we might want to watch out with the contact here, guys. Oh, a little more contact. Oh, this is not looking great, guys. The Haas driver just chilling around there. Dubs letting everyone go through. This is some good sportsmanship like driving from Dubs. Just letting everyone go through. He knows he's in a bad position. He's just like, yeah, I don't care that much. Baza is going to try and go for a move for Piney on Piney again. As you might want to go on board with Connor as he's trying to work together with his teammate J5 Gaming, as they're not getting any closer to the Red Bull drivers so far. Hummer, who is currently about 1.4 seconds ahead of J5 Gaming and Connor Havoc, is Rika working together with his teammate to get a little bit closer to a Pombeer, who finds himself in the middle of nowhere, 2 seconds behind his brother Adam, and about 1.6 seconds ahead is Raf as well. Baza still having his hands full with Piney Penguin, but so does the McLaren driver. Unsure what Piney is going to try here, went a little bit deeper, and I definitely think it's a setup issue here. Whenever he touches the brakes just a little slightly more than he should, he just loses the car completely, especially here in turn 15. We saw it earlier. He just slides all over the place, and you can see that he doesn't have any control over his car. He shouldn't be turning the way he is currently turning. So you should definitely try and, whenever he comes into the pits, maybe do something about the wings. I'm not sure. Maybe the differential, as I'm not too much of a setup expert there. The McLarens ahead of him are struggling as well. And if this were the Spa Grand Prix, right, the Belgian Grand Prix, we would have had a red flag already, because there would be too much rain according to the FIA. I think it's rigged, and you all know it's rigged. Here comes Piney with a beautiful move on the McLaren, as there wasn't too much. Oh, and it seems like Rika now takes out Piney. The guys are really struggling with each other to keep, well, avoid any contact. And Baza currently just chilling around. He knew that these guys are trouble because he has experienced it before. He dropped all the way from P6. I'm not sure. He wasn't P6 or P7, all the way to P12. Now he's back into P10. Only lost a position, but Rika and Piney Penguin are not doing a bad job themselves, as they both gained about 5 positions. J5 Gaming has caught up to Hummer by about 4/10. Now losing a little bit more, and I think it's especially here coming through Sector 2 and Sector 3, where he's losing a little bit of time to the Red Bull drivers. So it also depends on what kind of setup you have in your car right now. It could be that you wanted to have a little bit of a faster setup throughout the qualifying to have good pace and be in a good position, rather than having a better race setup. And you guys know that whenever there is rain, you just need to bump up your wings and you should be good to go. But especially here, a lot of guys are having troubles with the braking zones. And can you follow Bombeer versus a brother? Yes, sir, I can. So it appears that brother did indeed catch up to Pombeer at the moment, as J5 Gaming currently with a 148.1. He is catching up to Hummer, as I said before, but a big battle currently going on here between both the McLarens and Pombeer. Although Rika should not try to overtake his very own teammate, but should try to keep Piney behind him, because I think brother Adam does indeed have the pace to get past Pombeer. And all the Dutch driver currently needs to do is try to work around the other Dutch driver. As yeah, he's getting a little bit of pressure from behind by both the Mercedes, but also his very own teammate. No, it's brother Adam who's getting pressured from behind by the Dutch driver Rika. My apologies there for the confusion. Oh, Piney Penguin is gonna go down the inside, and yes indeed, and he slides through turn 6 once again. He doesn't have any control over his car, but I quite admire how he's doing it. Corner in, corner out. It's crazy that he hasn't crashed anyone out or crashed himself out yet. It's good controls over his car there, Piney Penguin. He knows he doesn't have the right setup, but he's trying to make the best of it out of it anyway. As J5 Gaming still within the 1 second range, but it doesn't seem that he can get any closer. And the guys also don't have any DRS, so the problem is that you're not going to have that much overspeed coming through the straights, but that might not be too bad because the guys would be outbraking themselves into the into turn 15 as well. Here comes brother Adam. Is he gonna go for a move into turn 15? Seems like he is. Pombeer might try to make a switchback work, but it doesn't seem to be working there. Brother Adam, who had the better exit coming out of turn 15, and now within top 6. Pombeer needs to watch behind him as well. But first and foremost, he needs to try and get past brother Adam again. Piney with a good exit now as well, as he's currently in P9. Oh, and he's crashed out Rika. And I saw some front wing damage there for the Dutch driver. And I'm afraid he's not going to be too happy with that. Piney's going to let him go through again. And that is some good sportsmanship-like driving, although the problem is that Rika does have some front wing damage now. Or was it the Mercedes who had front wing damage? Yeah, it might be Piney, actually. Rika doesn't have any front wing damage. It's Piney who has front wing damage. And we might want to go on board with Baza again, because right now it's not Pombeer who needs to defend from Rika, but he needs to defend from Baza. And I would say he could be a little bit tougher than the McLaren driver, especially after what happened to him a couple of laps ago during the start of this Grand Prix. He was quite far up the grid, dropped down to P12. He's actually doing a good job trying to gain as many positions again, and Pombeer could be one of those guys who was going to try and keep this position, but Baza is going to do anything to get past the Dutch driver. Nothing really happening. Maybe Dubs all the way at the bottom of the grid in P13. Within 1 second of Composite, but he drops out of there again. 2 seconds in between them after only a couple of seconds, so that is no good for the Haas driver. He's even letting his teammate go through. Does he have front wing damage? Possibly. As Rika now on the trail of Baza. And Baza seems to be struggling here, especially in Sector 3. Rika, who had to go a little bit earlier onto the brakes, otherwise he would have ended up in the back of Baza. As Pombeer trying to do everything to keep them out of his slipstream. And you saw that they're coming into turn 1. He went a little bit more to the right down the straight. Here comes Rika, almost outbraked himself, but it was Baza who broke a little bit later as well. We saw that because he was sliding through through turn 4. So the guys are living live on the edge right now. If it were really an F1 car, kind of reminds me of that race where who was it again? Was it Lauda? I think it was Lauda and Mansell who didn't want to race the Grand Prix. It was Nuremberg, if I'm not mistaken. There is a series or a film or a movie about it. I don't remember. Kind of reminds me of this race. You know, you're risking your life driving around Silverstone in a very, very rainy day. A rainy track. Slippery track as well. As Bombeer seems to be far up the grid now. Baza not anywhere near the Dutch drivers. Piney is going to try and have a go at Rika. It's a three-way, four-way battle as Lakatzis caught up to these three. And we haven't seen any good battles from the Ferrari driver yet so far. J5 Gaming once again gaining some time on Hummer. Has just got the fastest lap of the race. Lakatzis on the tail of Piney Penguin. Well, we might be looking at a Grand Prix where a lot of battles, a lot of overtakes are going to be happening. And I didn't expect that to be happening in a rainy race as this one. But apparently there is a lot of gaps forming at the front of the pack. So all the way from P1 to P8, we're looking at gaps of more than 1 second. So those are not very interesting battles, if I can say so. Maybe Raikkonen on the tail of Composite right now. Composite, who obviously used his Joker for tonight. He should be a little bit disappointed to see that nobody crashed in the first couple of laps. But you never know. Whenever people get a little bit impatient, they might make a few mistakes. Especially on a track like this. This could be a little more punishing. As Raikkonen now with a beautiful move on Composite right into turn 6. So what a move by Raikkonen. He's now moved up to P12. And he's going to have to push a little bit further to be able to get back to Lakatzis and Piney Penguin. As Piney caught up to Rika again. Rika on his turn. Once again, gained a little bit on Baza there. So it's a little bit of a back and forward battle here between a lot of guys. You know, you never know. Whenever you're a little bit better in a certain sector than the driver ahead of you, you're going to gain some time. But then on the other hand, you're going to lose that time again on a sector where your setup is a little bit worse. So you just have to take in mind that you use ERS wherever you're the weakest, because otherwise you're going to be losing a little bit too much time, and you really want to stick within that slipstream range of the driver ahead of you, especially on a rainy track like Silverstone. A lot of straight lines as well here in Silverstone. So whenever you're dropped out of the slipstream, as you can see here, Lakatzis, who dropped out of the slipstream and drops out of the 3 seconds of Piney Penguin. So those slipstreams are really powerful. Brother Adam apparently caught up to Raf here as well, as he's almost within 1 second of the Dutch driver. He was already within 1 second, but then once again, that poorer sector is coming into play, where he's going to drop out of the second again. And it seems like he's a little bit weaker throughout the corners here, Brother Adam. So that might either be a throttle issue, where he doesn't find the right input during a wet weather situation, which is a problem that I'm experiencing most of the times, or he just doesn't have the right setup for the corners. And now we're going to see him gain a little bit more time here coming down the straights, and that is exactly what we're seeing. And he might drop within that 1 second of Raf after Meggetson. He does indeed. 9/10s, 8/10s right now for Brother Adam. So we were really seeing him gain a lot of time coming through the long straights, the fast corners as well. Let's see whether he's going to be able to benefit from that. Oh, we might want to go on board with Rika here as well in P9 at the moment. Hummer with the fastest lap, 146.5. And I don't think J5 Gaming is going to be able to beat that time this time around. Badups at the bottom of the grid, once again having a battle with Composite, although it doesn't seem like he can really catch up with the Dutch driver. 9/10s dropping out into 1 second as we speak. So not a great couple of corners for the Haas driver at the bottom of the grid. But we do see a little Haas kick sour battle there between the guys at the bottom of the grid. Lakatzis trying to catch up again. He was 3 seconds behind earlier, currently only about 2.1 seconds. So we're going to see that battle unfold pretty soon. Piney Penguin on the tail of Rika. Let's hope those two don't collide once again. But in my opinion, Piney Penguin is doing a good job without a front wing. So he just needs to keep up the good racing as he's currently doing so, and not make any lucrative moves, if you know what I mean. Brother Adam, and he's in a good position. He was in this position before, but he was about 1.2 seconds behind. So the setup is going to be favorable here in Sector 2, especially coming through the fast corners where you can really see that he's gaining time. And making some Begets now for Brother Adam. And I think this setup definitely suits Sector 2 and Sector 3 more than it does Sector 1. And Sector 1 is mainly slower corners where you're going to not necessarily gain that much time with the setup that Adam is running at the moment. And we can see he's right up the ass of the Red Bull driver. He's going to go for a move on the outside. Doesn't seem like it. But on the other hand, they're also catching up to Tom Buddy. So unsure what Brother Adam's intentions are here. He's going to go for a move straight away. Backs out of it. Might want to make the Red Bull make a mistake there. Although it seems like Raf really had a good entry into turn 17 and a good exit coming out of turn 18 as well. So he's doing a good job keeping this position. But on the other hand, they're gaining a lot of time on Tom Buddy as well. So let's see how this battle is going to unfold in the next couple of laps, as we still have about 16 more laps to go. It's going to be a little longer Grand Prix time-wise, not necessarily lap-wise. And that is mainly because these guys are doing 30 seconds more than they actually should. Because it's raining, it's making you slower, and it's making the Grand Prix a little bit longer than it should be. Rika currently on the tail of Basa. Once again, we've seen these two battle for quite some time now, but the question is, who is going to come out on top and take that P8 position? Palmbeer is not anywhere near anyone right now, so he shouldn't be worried about anyone behind him. He shouldn't be worried about anyone ahead of him as well. And a funny thing is that we don't see any penalties yet here in Silverstone. And the problem there, well, not necessarily the problem, but nobody is able to capitalize from those penalties that other guys around them have. So it's a little bit not necessarily worrying, but it's good to see that nobody is getting any penalties. Does that mean we are not on strict anymore? That could be the case, although usually during a wet weather race, we do see drivers get penalties lap in, lap out. It's like crazy how many penalties we usually see in a wet weather race. Well, I saw in the 500 races, probably 500 plus races that I've commentated on. I do tend to see a lot of penalties for wet weather conditions. But apparently here in Delta T Racing, we don't do penalties. We just keep on racing clean and, you know, let the stewards deal with whatever penalties they want to give. Hey, Brother Adam and his main rival at the moment, Raf, not necessarily looking anywhere near making an overtake. But they are catching up to Tom Buddy again. They're almost within 1 second of the Alpine driver. So it's going to be a good battle between those three. Brother Adam, he came from far, far away to be able to have a battle with Raf and Tom Buddy. And I'd say right now, Brother Adam might be one of the more consistent drivers here in Silverstone. He deserves my driver of the day because he's done such a good job. Tom Buddy also 4 positions gained, but his pace is saying something else. So we're going to see whether Raf and Brother Adam can actually make that overtake on Tom Buddy. As we're now trying to unfold this battle between Rika and Baz, although Penguin is going to try and get involved once again. As Raf within 7/10 now, he seems to be the faster one coming through Megats and Begats. And here comes Brother Adam again. We know he's fast coming out of Megats and Begats, but not fast enough to be able to make a move on Raf there. As Hummer is the first one to come into the pits, and the fastest lap goes to J5 Gaming. So this might be a little mistake for Hummer and for both Hummer and Connor Havoc, seeing that J5 Gaming is currently on the fastest tires of the grid. A lot of other guys coming into the pits, including Piney Penguin, so that should be good for Baza, because Rika also came into the pits. So this is a little bit of a relief as well for the Williams driver. He shouldn't be worried about anything right now. just drive his own race and see how things unfold for Baza there. As Raf now on the tail of Tom Putty. Is he going to be having a better exit coming out of turn 5? Seems like he does. Not close enough though. But then once again, Megas and Biggets is going to do the wonders for both Raf and Brother Adam. I think Brother Adam might be able to take 2 positions at the same time. Let's go on board with him. Why did I say Megas and Biggets? They're only in Sector 2 right now. Sometimes I'm not sure what I'm saying, guys. Bear with me. So here comes Brother Adam. We know he's fast coming through this part of the track. And is he going to go for a move already? Is he going to go for a move already? No, he backs out of it. But he taps the Red Bull a little bit on the rear. And they're looking at Tom Putty running away right now. 1.4 seconds. Brother Adam is going to... Oh, no! A little bit too early on the throttle. He saw there was an opportunity as the Red Bull now crashes into Brother Adam as well. He saw that there was an opportunity. He knew that he had to come out of Megas and Biggets fast, because otherwise he would have just lost that position again. But he went a little bit onto the throttle too fast, and I'm afraid that costed him about 2 positions. Tom Putty and J5 Gaming now coming into the pits, and this is going to be a great opportunity for them as well. Raikkonen and Connor Havoc. I think that's Connor Havoc dropped down all the way to P10. Did he have an incident? I'm not sure. Let's see where Tom Putty is going to be. Oh, he's going to be behind Connor Havoc. So that means that Baza, Raikkonen, and Pombeer haven't come into the pits yet. As J5 Gaming is going to try and find his way around Brother Adam. Actually, Adam shouldn't be battling anything because he's on a different strategy, but he's going to do it anyway. He doesn't care about anyone or anything in his way at the moment. Let's see how Hummer and Raf are going to be working together with each other as well. I'd imagine that Hummer is just going to... that Raf is just going to let Hummer go through. But you never know whether these guys are in a phone call, in a call with each other or not. It could be that many of the drivers are not necessarily in a call with each other. It would make things a little bit more difficult to work with, but yeah, it is what it is. You can really see that Raf is holding up Hummer at the moment, so we might look at a switch of positions coming down the straight. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen here between the both of them. A little bit of ERS used by Hummer. Down the inside he goes. Raf is going to let him go through. Are they going to go side by side? It seems like they are, but Raf backs out of it last minute. Brother Adam now within 1 second of the Red Bull driver again, and he's coming into the pits. And I think so is Raf, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, indeed, Raf is as well. Let's go on board with Raikkonen and Connor here. It's Connor stuck behind the Haas driver, and this is not a position you want to be in. He is definitely faster than the Haas driver. He just needs to find his way around him on these new, fresh, wet tires. And let's see whether that's going to be the case. It seems more difficult than... Well, it seems easier than it actually is, but I'm afraid that he's making it a little bit too difficult for himself as well. Although there's not necessarily any way around the Haas driver at the moment. And now we're looking at Rika with the fastest lap. Piney Penguin with a 144.8. So the drivers are definitely going for fastest laps at the moment. They're trying to push everything in their cars to be able to get a good result here in Silverstone. With about 12 more laps to go, so we're currently in lap 26 out of the... we're currently in lap 14 out of the 26, so that means 12 more laps to go if you can do the math yourself. Pombeer and Baza just switched positions as there's a heavy battle going on between the both of them. Piney Penguin now got past Pombeer as well as Lakatsis. So this is not a great coming into the pit lane for Pombeer. Piney Penguin on the tail of Baza. Is he going to go for anything into Megas and Biggets? I would assume so. Piney Penguin is definitely one of those guys who is going to go for a move into Megas and Biggets. Not necessarily a bad thing, Piney, if you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. But I'd say... Oh, Brother Adam 6 seconds behind Rav. He made a mistake, and this is going to be an exciting battle between three of the best drivers here on the grid. Piney Penguin, Baza, and Brother Adam. They've had the most amount of battles on track already, together with Pumbeer. And let's see who is going to be able to capture that P8. Baza. Oh, Piney Penguin almost taken out Baza there, as Raikkonen now came into the pits. Baza with a move on Brother Adam, and I'm afraid that Brother Adam has front wing damage. He's got front wing damage indeed. He's going to come into the pits, change that front wing again, but I'm afraid there's not enough time to get back into the top 6, 7, wherever he was. Raikkonen did a good job though. Look at that. He's back in P7, ahead of Baza, ahead of Piney, and Baza now makes a mistake, brakes a little earlier. And is this going to open up a position or an opportunity for Piney Penguin? I'm afraid not so. Seems that Rav is trying to catch up to Rika as well. Rika with a good strategy here, though. Look at that. He's currently in P5. He jumped a lot of positions all the way from P13 to P8. So I'm afraid that his points are going to be scored double. And there's a lot of points for Rika here on the table, especially if he can catch up to Tom Putty, who we've seen his pace is not the best. The first penalty has been given to Piney Penguin. Congratulations on the 3-second time penalty, as he's now getting overtaken by Lakatsis as well. Piney Penguin into the wall as well. Yellow flags. Is this going to cause a safety car? I'm afraid it will not be, because we are not seeing any damage on track. And oh, he's getting a 10-second time penalty for... Oh no, I don't think that should be a thing. He lost so much time. That's definitely going to get removed, if I'm not mistaken. He shouldn't be coming into the pits, though. That is something I could tell him. Don't come into the pits, because I don't know whether that's going to be removed or not. Let me just double check here. Piney Penguin. Oh, and he crashed again. He's going to have to come into the pits. Brother Adam has been very unlucky tonight as well. Although I'm not quite sure what happened with the McLaren driver. I always want to say da butts, but badots, the badups, I don't know, it sounds very funny, badups. He's on the tail of Composite, who is one position short of actually scoring double points here tonight, because P11 isn't going to score any points, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, loses the car. Is da butts going to be able to... No, Badup's going to be benefiting from this. Doesn't look like it. He's going to let Skipper go through. Went a little bit too deep. So Skipper is going to go for a move down the inside of Composite as well. Backs out of it again. As Rika caught up to Tom Putty quite significantly. About 1.5 seconds so far. He's dropping out of that 3 seconds again. Oh, look at that. 2.6, 2.5. Gaining a lot of time coming through Megats and Baggots. This is not looking great for Tom Putty. Especially with Rika bringing Raf with him. He's giving him a little bit of slipstream. Not that he wants to, but I mean, you cannot destroy the slipstream behind you. Wait. That would be a great... If any team could do that, just create some kind of system that reduces slipstream behind you. Well, there is another problem there, because there should be a system that it only works down the straights, right? Because whenever you want to go into a corner, you do want to cause, dirty air behind you, because that's basically what slipstream is, right? It's dirty air that's going to make the car behind you a little bit faster down the straight, but slower down the corners. But that could be a great invention. I should work for a Formula 1 team. Ricard having a great... Yeah, exactly. They're having a great race. And Red Bull kind of is as well. Brother Adam on the Inters, he's the fastest at the moment. Does that mean it's Inter time? We are looking at Skipper on the Inters as well. It could indeed be Inter time. And drivers like Connor might want to go for the Inters there. They've got Tom Putty behind them. with not so much great pace, 12 seconds behind. I think this could be a great opportunity for Connor. J5 Gaming is in a decent position as well, although I'm afraid he might get stuck behind Tom Putty and Rika there. So the Inter guys are possibly gaining a bit of time. We saw Brother Adam getting the fastest lap so far. Is this going to be an opportunity for the guys on Inters? Brother Adam is really gaining a lot of time there, as Rika now almost within 1 second of Tom Putty. He's not necessarily bringing Raf with him anymore, so this is going to be a two-way battle rather than a three-way battle. Brother Adam with his first 3-second time penalty off tonight, as we might want to look into the battle between Brother Adam and Badots later. But first, Rika is going to do his little thingy here in Silverstone. We've got about 8 more laps to go, as Rika trying to overtake the Alpine driver who's driving in front of him. And this could be a difference of, let me just calculate, 4 points in the Drivers' Championship between P5 and P4, because Rika would be gaining 10 points if he didn't get double points here in P5, but he would get 12 in P4, so that would be 24 with double points, so that would be a difference of 4 points rather than 2 points. So these are some big points and big positions for Rika, especially in your Joker race. So let's see whether he's actually going to be able to gain that position on Tom Putty. He seems to be rather slow coming through Meggets and Beckets, so this should be an opportunity for Rika coming out of Meggets and Beckets here. DRS not available, but we've got the slipstream. We've got a lot of ERS saved by Rika, as you can see at the bottom of your screen. And is this going to be the one shot he gets? It doesn't look like it. He was a little bit too far behind, and I'm afraid that Tom Putty has been draining his ERS coming down the straight there as well. Oh, he's going to go for a move into Sector 3. And it seems like the drivers are keeping it respectful with each other. And this was an excellent move by Rika. Look at that. Made an overtake on Tom Putty. And he actually should have tried to do it right before entering Sector 2, because that is really where you can try and run away from Tom Putty, although he's doing that exact same thing here in Sector 1 as we speak. 8-10 so far, 6-10 so far between Rika and Tom Putty. Now, let me go on board with Brother Adam, as, well, apparently Badubs came into the pits to go into the intermediates. Lakatsis on the wet tires at the moment. He's on the tail of Baza. Unsure whether the guys should actually go on to the intermediates. It seems like they're a little bit slower. J5 Gaming within 5/10 of Hummer at the moment. So that could be a very big battle between those guys as well. And I'm unsure who's actually going to take it. I'm afraid that J5 Gaming has got fresher tires, and he does have indeed one lap fresher wet tires. And if he could keep them cool, they're definitely going to be better after about 7 laps when we're going to be finishing this Grand Prix. So he just has to keep it cool and, you know, don't stay within the ERS, well, within the slipstream for too long, because that is going to heat up the tires as well. We saw that with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri a couple of times. So the guys really should watch out for that dirty air, especially throughout the corners. It's going to heat up the tires, and you don't want to have heated tires within, well, on the wet tires, actually. Tom Putty coming into the pits as well. He's most likely going to go on to the intermediates, maybe. We are seeing a lot of guys coming into the intermediates at the moment. Piney Penguin, one of them. But Brother Adam, we saw him put the fastest lap on the intermediates, and it seems like Tom Putty is going to go on to the wet tires again. This is very contradictory, but it is what it is. You know, it could have just been a lucky lap from Brother Adam there. No, he puts another fastest lap, 142.8. That is, let me just double check how much faster that is. Yeah, that is about 2 to 3 seconds faster than the top three. So we could definitely say that the intermediates are better than the wet tires here at the moment. If that's 3 seconds a lap, that could mean that whoever is... Nah, it's not going to be enough, I'm afraid. It just depends on whether the track is getting even faster, is getting even drier. 3 to 4 seconds. It would be nice if I had some telemetry on how much they actually gained on the leaders. I do have that. Let me just double check here. So we've got Brother Adam 54 seconds as he's entering sector... where is he at the moment? He's entering sector 2 with 54 seconds. Just made an overtake on Tom Putty, who's on the wet tires. Yeah, this might be a mistake from Tom Putty, if I'm being honest. 54 seconds, and he didn't gain a single second in sector 2. He's now heading into sector 3. Yeah, he's not doing a bad job. Let's go straight over to a J5 Gaming. Five more laps to go between the guys in the Red Bull cars. Well, V-Carb is basically a Red Bull car, isn't it? It's called V-Carb for a reason. Visa, Keshep, Red Bull, whatever. Strange name. Actually, I think it's a good invention to call it V-Carb. It kind of sounds nice, but it also sounds like a brand of tractors or something. Like, hey, yo, dude, do you have a John Deere? Nah, man, I've got a V-Carb, you know? That would be quite funny. Lakatz is on the tail of Baza here in P7 and P8. I feel like I'm missing a couple of battles here. It is what it is. Forgive me. It's been a long time since I've done some commentary. So Lakatz now has to let Baza run away, although not fast enough. 5 to 6 tenths so far. But the big battle here is between Hummer and J5 Gaming. And you know what would really be a bummer for Hummer? Hey, a little bit of a rhyme there for our bummer Hummer. No. Hummer, if you get a penalty right now, I'm pretty sure you would never forgive yourself. I'm not trying to put any pressure on your shoulders, but you know what's the drill. As it seems like the Mercedes guy there, Piney Penguin, is going to make an overtake on the V-Carb. What a way to make an overtake. It's a driver who actually unlaps himself, and we don't see that very often, but this does indicate that the intermediates are faster, and possibly a lot faster than the wet tires so far. Let me look at the difference between Brother Adam and G5 Gaming again. It seems to be somewhere around a gain of 4 to 5 seconds as he puts another fastest lap of 42.8. Although it's a little bit too late to come into the pits right now. I feel like that whenever any of these two came into the pits to go into the intermediate tires, they would have won the race. Because it would have been somewhere around, let's say, lap... When did Brother Adam came into the pits? Around lap 18, 19? No, faster. He came into the pits around lap 14, 15, somewhere around there. And that's where he also gained the fastest laps, lap in, lap out. Well, where he performed the fastest laps, lap in, lap out. So actually, if you think about it, 3 seconds per lap, that would have been about 11 laps. That would be around 30 seconds. So definitely, 10-second time penalty for Piney Penguin for ignoring blue flags. You know what the problem is here? I don't think he should deserve that 10-second time penalty, and I'll tell you why. He is not necessarily messing up J5's Gaming's race, because he's clearly way faster. As you can see, he's up his ass. He was pulling away from J5 Gaming. He was just a little bit stuck behind Hummer. He couldn't make that overtake work. So he got a blue flag signal, but he's way faster than J5 Gaming. So now he's stuck behind the V-Carb driver. If that Red Bull wouldn't have been there, I'm pretty sure that Piney Penguin would have been able to run away, but right now he's just stuck behind someone who is not on the same tires as he is. And that's just a little bit of a bummer. I have to break it to you, but I'm not a fan of this system. Well, of F1, of course. There's nothing Delta T Racing can do about it. Raikkonen on the tail of Rav, and it seems like Rika made it into the top 4. Oh yeah, I remember why Tom Putty coming into the pit to go onto the wet tires. He was a little bit too adventurous. Adventurous. That's the word I was looking for. 9/10s in between the both of them. This could be a very exciting battle for the top 5 position. We know that Rav is a little bit clumsy throughout Megats and Begats. You can see his car going all the way to the left to the right. Although Rika is not too far ahead as well. So we might be looking at a 3-way battle for the last 3 or 4 laps. So make sure you're at the edge of your seat, because this is going to be a very good battle. I'm going to take the chance to drink a little bit of water. I'll show you the brother Adam and Lakatz's battle. His brother is going to go down the inside. What a move. And it's especially those tires. It's just the tires, guys. That is way too powerful here. He made up so many positions already on those intermediates. And I'm afraid he's going to simply do it again in turn 3. He's just going to go alongside Braza. And then he's going to have a go at it. Let me have a look whether he is close enough. Doesn't look like it, but he just has the ability to outbrake Braza, but by quite a few meters, actually. Because he's simply on those intermediate tires. He was a little bit too far behind, but maybe heading into turn 6 into the slipstream. With ERS, he might be able to make it work, especially with a little snap there from Baza. And another one, and another one. Here comes brother Adam. He's going to go for the inside. No, it's Braza who defends the outside, the inside line. But brother Adam is getting through anyway. A good exit from brother Adam coming out of turn 5. It seems like Skipper and Brumbeer are now having a battle with each other. Once again, somebody on the intermediate tires who is a little bit faster than the guy ahead of him. And he makes up that position. Raikkonen and Raf, but also Rika, having a heated battle with each other in the last 2 laps of this Grand Prix. We're heading into the penultimate lap, lap 25 out of the 26. It's been a pretty long race, although considering that we're doing about 20 to 30 seconds more than an actual Grand Prix, I feel like it's been going pretty well as Raf tried to outbrake Rika there. As Tom Putty gets a 3-second time penalty as we speak. He's all the way in P12. He kind of messed up his race there going onto the wet tires. I think if he went onto the intermediate tires, he should have definitely been able to get into that top 10 position. But, you know, things turned out differently for the Alpine driver. As things might turn out differently for Rika here as well if he doesn't keep his cool. With Raf right behind him, the Dutch drivers having a heated battle with each other. It doesn't seem like anyone is trying to risk anything, so that is good news. As Connor Havoc now with a 3-second time penalty, that's gonna do him not necessarily any bad, but you know, he shouldn't be getting any other 3-second time penalty, because then things could be a little bit dangerous for the V-Carb driver. We're heading into the penultimate lap as these 3 are currently trying to find their way, well, these 2 trying to find their way around Rika. But I'm afraid that things are not necessarily going to change that much. Rika is way faster coming through Megats and Begats, so there's no opportunity here for Raf heading into Megats and Begats. Maybe for Raikkonen, and then he should have a go at Rika as well. And a good exit. Oh, and a little bit of contact there between Raf and Raikkonen. And Raikkonen, who does let him go through. So I think the bird has flown away. Rika now with an 8-10 gap. And we're heading into the last lap of this Grand Prix. So let's see whether Raikkonen or Raf have something extra in their pockets. And Raf now with a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting and gaining 1 place. That is a penalty that should definitely get removed. As obviously he got either punted wide, or it was just the contact that caused Raf to go a little bit wider. which made him cut the corner, but it should definitely be removed. And Brother Adam apparently caught up to these 3 again. So you can see how good the intermediates are. Let me see how much he's gained on Hummer. More than 12 seconds during the last 3 or 4 laps. So yeah, going on to the intermediates was definitely the best option to go for. And I think that Brother Adam actually could still get a top 4 position here. And he's going around the outside of Raikkonen already. A little bit of a squeezy battle there between Raikkonen and Brother Adam, but he takes it anyway. I'm afraid that Raikkonen is not going to be finishing in the top 6 because the guys ahead of him have already ran away so far. And Raf is trying to get past Rika before Brother Adam makes his way through the field, but he's a little bit too late. Here comes Brother Adam, a little bit wider coming through turn 7. Into turn 8 he goes. He needs a good exit to make an overtake coming through Meggetts and Beggetts. And he should have Rika take P4. And I'll tell you why. Rika is going to score double points. So that extra 2 points is going to gain them a little more points. Well, a few extra points for the Constructors' Championship. But he's going to go for a move anyway. Brother Adam is going to take P4, and what a comeback race he's had. He was having a battle with Tom Putty as we're looking at Hummer coming across the line. We haven't seen him battle too much. Raf now gets past. Oh, Rika doesn't have any fuel left. Rika doesn't have any fuel left. No way. Rika doesn't have any fuel left. Is it going to be Lakatzis who will be able to benefit from the mistake from the McLaren driver? Let's see if anything is happening here. It's just not going to be enough for the Ferrari driver. Rika coming across the line in P7. And Raf getting a 10-second time penalty. Wait, is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough? Oh, it's simply just going to be enough. Raf getting dropped down to P9, but he's obviously going to get that 10-second time penalty removed again. Raikkonen only 8 tenths away from Brother Adam. So he's still caught up to the McLaren driver there. And it's been a pretty good race. Baza, who surprisingly only finished in P12. Not sure what happened there. Oh, he's out of fuel as well. Tom Putty in P11. And then we've got Composite and the Butts having a battle coming across the line there. The Butts, the Buduts. Jesus, I'm never going to remember that name. Budups on the intermediate tires. Just made it ahead of Composite, but he had a penalty to serve anyway. Piney Penguin is the last one to come across the line. And I don't think there's much that changed in the Drivers' Championship or the Constructors' Championship. But make sure to check out the results whenever they're getting posted. And feel free to report anything you've seen on track here tonight, as that is going to help the league and the stewards forward into the rest of the season. So guys, I would like to thank you very much for watching this live stream. I hope you had a great time listening to my voice. I'll quickly go through the results of the race one more time, as Hummer is going to take your driver of the day, J5 Gaming in P2, and Havoc Connor in P3. But we've got Brother Adam, Raikkonen, Rika Lakatzis, Skipper Raf, and Pombeer in the top 10. Yeah, I know, Brian. It's just, I always want to say da Butts, and then whenever I look at your name, for some reason I even read da Butts. But then it says Badups. It's just something that doesn't flow well in my mouth. All right, and then we've got Tom Putty in P11, Baza in P12, Composite in P13, Badups in P14, and the fastest lap goes to Piney Penguin with a 142.7. So congratulations to you right there. I forgot about the extra screen that the game gives these days for the most amount of overtakes and stuff. So my apologies. I'll try to get that fixed next week. But I'd like to thank you very much for racing, but also for listening to the live stream. And I'll catch you guys soon. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.